Yeah. So, okay, I'll try not to bounce all over the place. I mean, of course, some days are different, but I'm very good at like noticing, okay, your mind's kind of slipping around or you're not focusing as much. So you need to adjust something. Your energy's too off the wall. You need to adjust it. So um, I have different, over the last couple of years, I've been a daily meditator. I've been a researcher of myself and like just what works for other people. I really have enjoyed just trying different things. Like this thing works for this person. All right, I'm going to try it and see how it works for me. This thing works for this person. This way of thought works for this thing from Buddhism. This thing from Stoicism. This thing from the motivational video that I watched this morning. Like I kind of build my day. Trying to not get myself to a peak level, but just get myself to a comfortable, uh, a balanced level. You know, I'm someone who if I don't plan it out, if I'm just kind of like eating whatever I want and I'm not really concentrating on my sleep and I'm kind of just following my urges, like I am someone who I just don't feel sane and I get a lot of anxiety. I get a lot of, which triggers obsessive thought, OCD type thoughts, which triggers depression, you know, so all these sort of things. So essentially I'm setting up the scene. I've like, I've kind of studied and made myself my perfect sort of routine at this point. And so I feel like, you know, maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but finding the importance of finding what works for you, what works for your particular brain. So going to bed, I start with fasting. So I'll start with the night before. I usually try to get myself in bed by midnight. I think a bedtime is probably one of the most important things people can probably start. Like not just whenever you feel tired as often, because sometimes you don't feel tired till 2 a.m. because you didn't really exert a lot of energy in the day. So I usually try to go to bed around midnight. I alarm wise, when I wake up, so I don't lay on my phone in bed the night before. That's not an option. I make the bedroom is for sleeping and other fun activities. Um, and I, you know, occasionally I'll look, you know, we'll glance at the phone. I will, but for the most part, I really don't mess with my phone in the bedroom. Um, so I wake up. For one, the typical iPhone alarm clock is intrusive. It's loud. It's terrifying. It turns on your fight or flight the second you wake up in the morning. Terrible. Get rid of that. There's a subtle progressive alarm, I think it's called. Maybe it's like 99 cents. Get that. Um, yeah. You. Yeah, and then the progressive alarm clock, it's essentially you set it to go off at a certain time, and it starts with the volume very low, kind of like the sound of like a Tibetan bowl, bing ting, very far in the distance, and so it kind of like slowly wakes you up. But also on top of that, uh, a, a lot of times I'll set that as a backup more than anything because I actually have like trained myself to wake up when I tell myself, and that might seem weird, but with like a lot of humans have an ability to, you can say, all right, I want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you'll wake up. So, you know, don't go relying on that now. I know we have a world of alarm clocks, but it's just something maybe you can say, I want to wake up at 6, but I'm going to set my alarm for 6:05. Like just see, you know, 5 minutes, big deal. You'll be fine. But so I wake up softly. I get out of bed and I don't look through my phone. I don't look through my text messages. First thing, I don't fucking look what Donald Trump said yesterday. I don't look at the latest interview or news on coronavirus. You really got to give yourself your first like 30 minutes, your first 45 minutes if you can. So I wake up and don't start my phone for the first 10-15 minutes. I do some stretching, use the restroom. I'll kind of like pace around the house and start opening the blinds. I'll clean up, like if I had blankets from the couch the night before, fold those sort of thing. Just kind of get moving, right? And this is before I'm consuming any content. I'm not replying to text. Nobody knows I'm awake. Nobody knows that I'm ready to email back. These are like my moments. And so what I would suggest here, for anybody who is feeling a little, you wake up and you're feeling a little defeated, you feeling groggy, you don't feel like you have the momentum to just like focus on right here, and you don't have that pep in your step, go on YouTube and then do this often. I type in motivational video or motivation, morning motivation, or if there's somebody like Tony Robbins motivation, Jordan Peterson motivation. There's like they upload hundreds a day on YouTube of these. There's inspirational music. It's clips from a podcast or an interview or a talk, and they just encourage it. It's like, know who you are, fight your inner beast, like all these. Maybe it's a little dorky if you're listening to it amongst other people, but it's great for putting positive thoughts in your head. So a lot of times I'll do that. I know I'm going on a long time about my daily routine here, but so from there, I basically just don't allow like negative and reactive feelings in the morning, like really setting your day up. And then from there, I go downstairs and I pour my coffee. I usually turn on music. I'll get the studio going in the morning. I'm very, very conscious about my posture in the morning. I'm actually like actively pulling from the top of my head as I'm walking around getting ready. This is all within the first hour of getting ready. And you're pushing your heart out, your chest out. If you're someone who believes in chakras, if you kind of just try to every few minutes, like, oh yeah, chakras, and think about just like the alignment of your chakras. If that works for you, sometimes that's enough to be like, oh yeah, and you feel soft, but you also feel as if you're pulling from the top of your head. It's like it's a resetting of posture. And then I put some sort of, again, not content immediately, but I'll put some music or background something. Sometimes it's whale sounds, sometimes it's waterfalls, and then what I'm doing as I'm drinking my coffee is I'm preparing for my meditation. So I think a lot of people should probably do their meditation before they consume anything. But me, I've my routine is I actually have some sort of meditation teacher, whether it's Tara Brach, Adyashanti, Sam Harris, Muji, John Vervaeke, like all of these. Again, you can go on YouTube. If you don't know any of these names or it's all foreign stuff to you, search 20-minute meditation, search meditation talk. I listen to something of meditation content before I meditate. So something about mindfulness, something to kind of trick it, like, or get in that part of Jake's brain about like, oh yeah, I love meditation. Here's what I think about it. Here's where my progress is so far. I listen to that as I drink my coffee. And then after that is when I sit down to do my meditation.